Trump has hosted his first iftar dinner at the White House on Wednesday. That's the meal at sundown for Muslims to break their fast during the holy month of Ramadan. The White House said the dinner would be for the diplomatic community. For more on this, join me now here in Los Angeles, Omar Noor-Eldin, Vice President of the Muslim Public Affairs Council. Omar, thank you for coming in. I guess we've been playing that game for the last couple of days. Guess who's not coming to dinner? And it seems there were diplomats from mostly Muslim majority countries, cabinet officials, but no one actually representing real American Muslims, unlike previous years, going all the way back to Hillary Clinton in 1996, so, which says a lot about this administration.
I think that's exactly right. I think that this was part of a larger theme that's come out of the Trump administration, that American Muslims don't exist, that they're not part of this country, and that Islam is actually a religion that's a foreign religion and not something that has been a part of this country since its founding. You know, American Muslims have fought in every war since the Revolutionary War. American Muslims are a part of every sector of society and are thriving in every sector of society. But that's not the tone or the theme that the president wanted to make with this, his first iftar.
He didn't even really mention American Muslims during the dinner, did he? He spoke about Muslims around the world.
That's correct. During his brief remarks at the iftar, he wished happy Ramadan to Muslims from around the world, but didn't acknowledge American Muslims. He talked about his great trip to Saudi Arabia as the first foreign trip, and how Islam is such a great religion from Saudi Arabia, but didn't talk about the way in which Saudi Arabia actually has painted a bad picture for Islam around the world, and even here in the United States.
Okay, there was sort of almost unanimous agreement, though, among American Muslim groups that even if they were invited to iftar, they wouldn't go. But, you know, there is this story in the Quran from the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and it teaches this: shall I inform you of the best, most beneficial traits for this world and the hereafter? They are pardoning one who has done injustice to you, bonding with one who has cut off ties with you, doing good to one who has wronged you, and giving to one who is withheld from you. Okay, I guess it's a moot point now, but, you know, isn't it within the teachings of Islam and within the Quran that if there was that invitation, that it should have been accepted? And maybe if there was, you know, an indication from American Muslims that they would have gone, that, you know, they would have been at this dinner.
I think, you know, if the Trump administration had decided that they wanted to make an overture to American Muslims, that they were going to show that they were ready to build a bridge, to extend that olive branch, the iftar could have taken a different type of tone or theme. For example, the iftar could have been a celebration of the achievements and contributions of American Muslims to American society. If the Trump administration had done something like that, or said that they were going to abandon their litigation on the Muslim travel ban at the Supreme Court, or backtrack statements like Islam hates us, if something like that had been coupled with an invitation, I think there would have been a legitimate reason to start engaging that administration. But unfortunately, there wasn't an invitation, and there haven't been any other types of overtures.
You mentioned the statement about Islam, you know, hates us. That's from Donald Trump. He said it during the campaign, and let's listen to it right now. Here it is.
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
And, you know, some have said, well, that was just campaign rhetoric, but we've also seen it during his time as president. He retweeted the anti-Muslim videos, which have been made by a far-right British group. And also we have, you know, concern from Islamic and Jewish groups about, you know, appointments to his cabinet, in particular John Bolton and Mike Pompeo. Here's part of a report from the New York Times. Mr. Bolton and Mr. Pompeo both have ties to individuals and groups promoting a world view that regards Islam not so much as a religion, but as a political ideology that is infiltrating the United States and other Western countries with the goal of imposing Sharia law, the Muslim legal code. These groups believe that the vehicle for this takeover is the Muslim Brotherhood, and they allege that American mosques, civic organization, and leaders and even government officials who are Muslims are suspected of being Muslim Brotherhood operatives. If you're not even being invited to the White House, if you're not even meeting these people face to face, because that often is the best way to end bigotry and discrimination, you know, oh, you're a real person after all. If you're not even getting that far, how do you have any kind of impact on this administration?
And I think that's the million-dollar question. You know, when we've engaged with previous administrations, my organization, the Muslim Public Affairs Council, we always did so, even though we disagreed with the Bush administration, with the Clinton administration, with the Obama administration on certain policy issues. We thought there was some room there to move the needle. Unfortunately, here with the White House itself, we don't believe that there's at this time an opportunity to move that needle. But remember, the federal government is a large and it's not monolith. There are ways to influence what's happening in federal policy through the Department of Justice, through the Department of Homeland Security, through the State Department, with career officials that work there and are actually doing the day-to-day work of making our federal government work.
Just very quickly, you know, it's not like American Muslim groups have always turned up to iftar. They boycotted back in 2014, for example, because of the U.S. response to the Gaza war, and that was when Obama was president.
That's correct, and you know the iftars have always been, because you know any event at the White House is a symbolic event, and a boycott of it can be equally symbolic. I think with previous administrations that there was that idea that we can influence policy and we can have a dialogue, so there wasn't this unanimous boycott as there is with this White House and this iftar.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Ramadan
you.
Kareem.
Ramadan Mubarak.